Hello, everyone. It's nice to see you again. I've been away for some time now. Just got back from Korea, and we now up here in Northern California to continue practicing together. So it's nice to see all of you again. I will, this Sunday, be in San Francisco at Dharma Treasury Temple, and we'll give you a more detailed account of our trip to Korea. But briefly said, I'm very pleased with our trip. This is our 5th time in Korea, and it's been very, very productive in the sense that I learn a lot. Part of my work is enjoyable because I enjoy learning. I'm learning so much more. And in particular, what makes me very happy is the fact that we practice in Korea, and quite a few people who joined us improved. That's all that matters to me. After it's all said and done, all this is about you. It's about helping you improve, and that will make life more enjoyable for all of you. That's what I noticed. The more that the students improve, I think they seem to be happier and more satisfied with their lives. Okay, so one kind of characteristics is that the Korean people in general in Korea, not in the U.S. The U.S., the Koreans I met here met in Southern California are different, quite different. They're not the same as the Korean Koreans. Okay. The Korean Koreans are very hardworking. They're very, very steady. They're not afraid of hard work. They're not trying to have a shortcut and get off cheap. In Korea, they don't mind the rigors of our American Weiyang training style at all. As a result, they improve a lot. And it's amazing that I realized that even with online classes like this, if you apply yourself, people have been applying themselves, and they've been improving. I noticed that. Furthermore, thank you. When I was there practicing with them, quite a few people improved as well, which is amazing. It used to be the case when I was at the Lu Mountain Temple, when I first started 15 years ago. It would take months or years before people would be able to reach a decent level of samadhis. And nowadays, it's amazing the speed of progress that people have been experiencing. And the one characteristic is that they're not afraid to suffer in Korea. Actually, they find it easy compared to us Americans. Okay, we Americans are spoiled. When it's a little bit of suffering, we complain, we whine, and we complain. Over there, they say, "Is that all? Is that all you ask of us?" And the thing about spiritual training is one little secret, okay, and that I finally understood over the years, and why our Weiyang training is so effective. Is because you need to be willing to endure suffering in order to improve. Okay? Don't be afraid to suffer, because it's by design. It's under supervision, and therefore the results are amazingly fast and fascinating to me personally. Okay, and I don't want to sound like I'm gloating, but maybe allow me to gloat a little. Quite a big improvements. I only mentioned one first stage arhat, but actually it's much higher as well. It's very hard. Things are very difficult in the typical Korean training system they have over there, or the Chinese Weiyang training here. Our American Weiyang is far, far more effective. And we're not talking about words, we're talking about you, people who practice American Weiyang. That's all that matters to me. If you improve, if you reach high levels, that's all that matters. Okay? So I'm very impressed. I'm very happy. And of course, I learn a lot as well. Okay? All right. Any questions? You forgot already? Huh? Have you been meditating at all? Oh, yeah, okay. I understand that you've been meditating and following the online classes as well. Those are very good classes. I notice people have been improving, taking online classes, and they're very useful. In fact, I think Venerable Xian Shun is adding a mantra recitation class Thursday morning here, American time, California time. And as a reminder, all these classes are designed to help you meet certain needs. For example, if you have depression, okay, I highly recommend you attend these mantra recitation sessions. They're designed to help you. They're designed to give you relief, and help you feel better, and hopefully eventually have a normal and happy life. Because when I was when I was a lay person, I was severely bipolar, and life is hell. So I know what it's like. Okay, it's not fun at all. It's no relief, and didn't know what to do. So over the years, we've been able to watch people who are as bipolar as I am. Well, I am, and they've been able to have a normal life and be happy. Okay, so mentor sessions are very good for you. Okay, you see the difference, and the Koreans are very smart. They walk into the temple. Our temple, like a typical Chan temple, very ugly, very poor. But it's not about a temple. It's just a place for you to come and practice, for all of us to practice. Unlike the Dharma Treasury Temple, DTT, which is more from a more pure land. So we try to make it more adorned, okay? Because Pure Land temples should be adorned. Chan temples should be plain and barren, in my mind, okay? I'm not trying to impress anyone in Chan. Chan is about you, okay? You know it yourself, okay? And no one needs to know. Just you know, and I know. That's good enough. And your instructor knows. All right, go ahead. Question from Jane.
You know and I know. Should I share this experience?
Sure.
Okay.
You can talk about anything.
Yeah, I would like to share is Thursday morning after Venerable Shen Shun's mantra session, and I went to teach 140 students of calculus, and now it's the midterm season, and students are very stressed out, and so they just had a very tough exam and presentations. So when they went to my class, and so they were really rowdy and talk a lot. And the whole class actually, when they were talking nonstop, it didn't bother me at all. And so then I realized other professors were very afflicted. And I guess it's from your training, the tempo with the kids running around. It's always rowdy. The students, compared to these very energetic kids, they were nothing. So thank you for your team. Thank you for your guidance.
That's after the mantra session?
Right after the mantra session.
So it did work. Because typically you will get pretty afflicted yourself internally.
True.
Yes. Yep. That's typical manic professors.
So what happened? It was actually after the class, quite a few of students complained to me, and they say, "Can you please do something to not to let the kids talk that much?" And then I realized, okay, I need to do something, and so, but the whole time I wasn't afflicted.
Very good. And that's what Chan is about. Chan is about not getting afflicted. Okay, if you don't get afflicted, then your head is clear, and therefore you can solve the problems better, handle the problems better, number one. Number two, it's about a philosophy of life and attitude towards life as well. Normal people are control freaks. Okay, we want things our ways. We demand things to be our ways. We want our wives to be a certain way, and vice versa. The wife even want more of us to be a certain way as well. I met this man here, this engineer here in San Jose, something like 20 years ago, 16 years ago. And after 16 years, I took a look at the wife. It's still the same woman. She still hasn't evolved at all. But you learn Chan, you practice in order to be able to embrace others. Okay, and that's what I learned very early on. When I learned from the Chinese Wei Yang, a Bodhisattva taught me. He says, stop looking at people's faults, okay? Embrace them. Accept them as who they are. Okay? And that's the next step for Professor Jain. Can we call Professor Jain a Calamity Jain or... Professor Jain sounds better, I think. But anyway, so the professor, it's at her stage right now. It doesn't bother her, okay, which I know why. But it also the next step would be for her to embrace them as who they are, and that's how you begin to be able to help people when you're able to accept them as who they are, instead of trying to control them and want them your way, okay? Because we're not control freaks. You're so strong, you're so resilient, you're so fearless that we don't need to control others. You can embrace others. Okay? If they make mistakes, you can embrace it. You can deal with the mistakes. Especially it works with your spouses, works with your children. Okay? All right, so it's ongoing. Yeah, it's a good deal. Okay? Well, thank you for sharing with us. Anyone else? Okay, yeah. All right, if you have nothing, we can see if we can talk about an anecdote. I don't remember these YongHua anecdotes anymore. It seems like I jump around so much I don't remember where I'm at anymore. And jet lag and everything else. YongHua anecdotes, do we have them at all? When I was doing YongHua in Korea, I was talking every night. And we prepared the slides for the YongHua from Master YongHua. And I was talking away, and people really enjoyed it. And so one night, midway through, someone said, "Hey, what about the slides? You want to hear some real Dharma?" I said, "Oh, it's a wake-up call for me." Well, it's not quite like that. But I realized that, it's so wonderful to be able to hear from the great sages. Okay. Don't be put off by this. I assure you that it's very rare to be able to hear these Chan anecdotes in English, okay? And to be able to discuss them was very rare. I don't think Master YongHua ever discussed these Chan anecdotes at all, ever. Especially to the level of details that we do. You will not find these anywhere at all in the Chan literature. So what we have been doing here in our very little way is contributing to the Chan literature in English. And we translate it back to Chinese, to Vietnamese, to what have you, whatnot. Okay? Okay, carrying excrement. Wow, okay. Is it working? Okay. So, let's read it. Okay, and please feel free to ask anytime. Okay. A monk asked, "What is the way?" Is simultaneous translation, or you do the Chinese here? Simultaneous translation, so I don't need to wait. God, it's more work for me. Huh? I used to. What is the way?
僧问如何是道？
The master said, "No mind is the way." The monk said, "I do not understand."
师曰：无心是道。曰：某甲不会。
The master said, "Just take that which does not understand."
师曰：会取不会敌好。
The monk said, "What is that which does not understand?"
曰：如何是不会处？
The master said, "Just you, not anybody else."
师曰：只如是，不是别人。
And the master continued, "Nowadays, people only need to directly take that which does not understand."
复曰： 今时人但执下体，取不会处。
That is exactly your mind. That is exactly the Buddha in you.
正是如心，正是如佛。
If he who takes from the outside world a little bit of knowledge or understanding to be the way of Chan, he would be completely off. He is bringing in excrement, not taking out excrement.
若向外得一知一解，将为禅道，且没交涉，明运愤入，不明运愤出。
And that defiles your mind, ground. That is why it is said not to be the way.
污如心田，所以道不是道。
Okay, so that's the end of it. Is this considered? I'm sure it's considered back then during those days, like back then in China, it's sort of coarse language. Yes? Is it? Chinese people, is it true? Like nowadays, like we cursing like crazy, and you hear it everywhere. Presidents curse, actors curse, your wife curses, and so forth. Not to mention that. So for the Chan master to talk about excrements and carrying excrements and so forth, it's sort of like could be considered to be coarse language. No? Yes or no? Not coarse, Jane says. Not coarse. So it's typical of you Chinese people who talk about excrements. Okay, let's go through it again. Shall we? All right. How come the two different slides? A monk asked. A monk means someone who is a specialist. He specializes, he devotes his life in practicing the way. So it's perfectly reasonable for him to say, what is the way? What is this about? Okay? It shows there, this environment, in that particular environment, at that temple, okay? It is okay to speak your mind. You don't have to be afraid. You don't have to be polite. Okay? Chan is raw. You don't need to soften the blow, okay? You don't need to massage things so that it's more pleasant. No. So for a monk, he says, my life is to practice the way, as the Buddha said. The Buddha said, in order for you to escape suffering, to end suffering, experience bliss and happiness is my addition, okay? Because you lay people, worldly people only understand happiness. You don't understand bliss. Bliss is also accompanied by happiness, and bliss precedes happiness. Okay? So what is the way? The Buddha said, there's a way for you to end suffering and experience bliss and happiness. So therefore, it's perfectly legitimate and reasonable for a monk or anyone who practices the way, whether you're a monk or a lay person, hey, what's that way you talked about? So the master here refers to Master Wei Shan, I think. This is the anecdotes that Master Yang Shan recollected from being there with Master Wei Shan. So he remember how he taught his disciples. This is such a treat to be able to have a glimpse on how one of the greatest teachers in Chinese Chan was doing it, how he did it. So the master said, no mind is the way. There's no question mark. No mind is the way is a period. Okay, I missed that. Okay, so edit it out. It should be a period. No mind is the way. Period. So the question is, what is the way? And then the answer is, no mind is the way. I'm done. But then the monk said, I don't understand. 某甲不会. I don't get it. I don't understand you. I don't get it. So the master has to elaborate. He says, just take that which does not understand. See, so the beauty of this interchange and this beauty of the way Master Wei Shan taught his disciples, okay, is revealed right here. Okay? He first said, no mind is the way. You want to know about the way? The way is no mind. Of course, the guy wouldn't understand. That's what he asked. He's a stupid monk, okay? Who later became enlightened. So, better call him stupid before he becomes enlightened. Okay? So the master said, so he says, no mind's away. And he says, I don't get it. He says, take that which does not get it. Okay? Right there. Don't let it go. Grab it. That's the way. So far, so good. And next, of course, the monk says, and of course, he knows this is like you zoom in into like a movie. You know, you have a big description of the scene, and you zoom in slowly, and you get the more details. Okay, that's how he taught his disciples. And it is beautiful because it shows what level of the samadhi that would help them get the explanations. Got that? So why was he doing it? Why? Because he was teaching not just that idiot monk, but the whole assembly. That is ingenious. One question from an idiot, a low-level monk. I'm sorry, my language is a little bit coarse, please forgive me. I was not taught properly. My master taught me a few times and he let me loose. So it's not really my fault. It's the father's fault. usually. What I've become today is because of him. Okay? Blame it on him. Okay? So what's beautiful is that you have this group of people, and you have this idiot, this low-level guy who says, what is the way? Probably a new guy coming in and says, hot shots. You guys look so coarse, look so poor, look so clumsy, peasants. Okay? I would not, I have a problem with you telling me what to do. That comes from me. Okay? I walk through my master's temple, look at all those monks. Oh, you are so coarse. You are all peasants. And you tell me what to do? And you're supposed to train me? So anyway, this guy had this attitude. He said, what is the way? And he asked, instead of, this guy, he should have asked like someone a little bit higher, more senior. But no, he had to ask the master in public. So this is the master then sees the opportunity to address him, but also teach the entire assembly. And therefore, for many people who've been there, who've been practicing under him, but they have the question, what is the way? I never asked what is the way myself personally. So I imagine myself sitting there and say, oh, I should have asked it. Why didn't I think of it earlier? Huh? Good kid. This monk here has potential. So you have this assembly of people with a very low-level question, and yet he used it to address all the students at various levels. That's how we turn stupidity into wisdom. You're not impressed, but let me tell you, it one is the most too late. Contempt. It says contempt, meaning I don't want it anymore. Contempt. Throwing a tantrum. Contempt. Yeah. I don't want it anymore. It should be spontaneous, But so one of the hardest things to teach in meditation is it's very difficult to teach meditation because you all have different levels. And therefore, if you someone asks a question to a high level, then the low level people would be discouraged. And if people ask a stupid question like this, okay, then the high level people say, but he's too low. Okay, so see how the master taught the entire assembly based on the question is so remarkable to me. So anyway, so the monk says, what is that which does not understand? You heard, 是不会 true. Great.
Hello. Yeah. Just comment on if the translation should be aware is that which does not understand, because it says true. Maybe doesn't make difference.
I don't think that's what the Chinese means. It's not where. True here is not, true here means the place, okay? But this translation is more correct in English. I don't know the actual meaning in Chinese, the way true, okay? But in English, translation it means that which does not understand. You can disagree with me. You are Chinese experts. I understand the Chan side more than the Chinese. Okay. Here he says, the master says, just that thing there, that which does not understand. That's it. That's the way. Okay. So he says, what is that? When you said that, what is that? Okay. 会取不会好，会地好。So it says, 会取。So that is able to not understand, is it? Okay, that's a Chinese. Chinese, that does not understand is exactly it. Okay, so that's why he asks, what is that does not understand? So you see, it's blown up. It now goes to elaborate, gives more details. Okay, so it's the way true here. I think it's Chinese semantics, or it's language preferences, personal language preferences or something. But in English, it says, but that does not understand. What is that? What does not understand? So far, so good? Okay, next. The master said, just you, not somebody else. So he says, what does it mean, just you, not somebody else? Because the guy says, 不会 true. True here is, where is it? Okay, so the meaning of that monk is that, where do I look for it? That's what he means. Where the place, where do I need to go to find that which does not understand? Okay, that means that the worldly perspectives tell me where to go. Where is it? Okay, show it to me. Okay, and so that I can find it. He says, you. Don't look outside. It's you. You are the true here. Okay? It is something that is outside of you. Okay? Where is it? Where can I go to find it? Is it in a library? Is it in the Chan, the Sonbang, the Chan Hall? Okay? Is it in Southern California, Way Mountain Temple? Highly recommended. Okay? So it says that's why the true here is implied here. Where do I find it? Okay? You tell me where to find it, I go find it. Okay? He said, I'm determined to go find it. Pretty good monk. Pretty impressive monk. That's why the master says, don't go anywhere. It's right there in you. Okay? 理如是 不是别人 okay? Not. It's just you, not somebody else. Okay? Not somebody else here refers to you don't go anywhere else, and the way is not what? Not 别人, not somebody else, meaning that the way is not with me. You see, it has double meaning. The Chan teachings always has multiple layers. It's not me, it's not your instructor, your online instructor, you know, the one right there, sitting there, or the monk sitting there, okay? It is you. Okay, and he explains. Now he explains, okay? Now he explains for low level, even a low level, elaborates a little bit more for the low level. Nowadays, okay, nowadays here means applies to us as well. Okay, nowadays, people only need to directly take that which does not understand. 但取下，提取不会去处。Okay, he says, I don't understand why nowadays. There's no need for nowadays. This is what I question nowadays because I don't get it. Why he had to choose 金曲人, okay? Because to me, it's for our times as well. The time is not necessary. Okay, I don't understand why he has to do 金曲, meaning this time, people of this time. Okay, literally, people of our time, people of this time. Okay, but this teaching is timeless. It applies to the people in the past, people in the present, people in the future, the same. So why did he use 金曲? I don't get it. This is a part it's not clear to me. Why he chose to say 金曲? Any ideas? Yes, sir. Black. With power button in the bottom, maybe.
Test. Okay.
There you go.
So maybe what he means is at this moment.
At this moment.
Yeah, at this right moment, people take the which doesn't understand.
Okay. See, it's nice to have someone who understands Chinese. 金曲. Jinsu is right now. It's not nowadays. Yes? Right now. It's not nowadays. Thank you. It helps. If you gave me a few more minutes, I would have come to that conclusion. Just because I asked doesn't mean I don't get it. I think. But you beat me to it. Thank you. Okay. And that's the important thing about China is that you first have to ask the right questions before you get the answer. You ask the wrong question, you will not get the right answers. Yes. Great.
Also on the translation front, so the T, I feel the T is a good, important point that's not being translated. Because here it says it only translates the Qu. So T has this very kind of personally experiencing, like 体会. So I'm wondering what is this?
Okay, very good. That's a good point. You see, when you Chinese people, that complicates things. You cannot get away with the Chinese in the audience. They say, wait, you are omitting this. You are glossing over this. Okay? Okay, first of all, 金曲, how do you translate 金曲 for the English audience? I will translate that. Just now? No. At this moment is still the past already. Just now. Right now. Because it's emphatic. 坚持. I don't, maybe I fail to understand the language used back then. This is a long time ago, not like the Chinese we learn nowadays, okay? You learn nowadays as well, even you Chinese-speaking people. 坚持 here is like that right now, just now. Agree? So change it to right now. See, I went through this anecdote like 3 or 4 times already. The first time I didn't understand it, so I had to meditate on that. Second time I started correcting the English. The small thing. Third time to make sure, went through one more time to make sure that everything is in sync, everything is blown up. And then the fourth time is to quickly review it after. And I still miss this 坚持 in a quote that we can be together and explore this. Okay, because my Chinese is not as good as yours. Okay, so just now, okay, corrected. Right now, okay, people only need to directly take that which does not understand. Okay, now the question is T. There's a Chinese as a T. Okay. It's difficult to translate this because the T here is not for you. Okay? It's not for you. The T here is not for most people. Okay? T here is for advanced people. I was at a temple, big temple, one of the big temples in Korea, and so the Fangzang, okay, what's Fangzang in abbot is lower than Fangzang. Fangzang above the abbot. I found out. Okay, so the Fangzang is the person in charge, overall in charge of the entire temple, the entire organization. Because the Fangzang, the temple could have like several locations. The Fangzang oversees it like me. Thank you. Finally. I have a reason there's a reason for my existence. I thought I gave up, San Francisco, San Jose, and so forth, and I found out I can't. Okay, so the T here is for the so I met with the Fangzang, and so that one of the Fangzang asked me, what is American Weiyang? It's similar to asking me, what is the way? No, this is what people do to each other in our world. So he deemed me, excuse me, don't get it wrong, he deemed me interesting enough to ask me that kind of a question. So what is American Weiyang? Which is extremely reasonable because we went around and say, we are not Chinese Weiyang, you hear? We are American Weiyang. So he says, what is American Weiyang? Perfectly reasonable. Or I started telling them, we learned it from a Chinese, and I personally don't like the Chinese style. I feel that doesn't quite fit the needs of the 21st century and beyond. Case in point, the young people don't come to your temples anymore. So in other words, you are old Mahayana, old Chan. We are new Chan. Okay? That's why young people come. Look at you young people. Huh? So he listened and said, it's like my master YongHua, my teacher. He brought Chinese Weiyang to America, and that's why I called substance of Weiyang. He gave us a substance of Weiyang, and I interpreted it for the Jinshu, okay, the modern times, if you will, okay, nowadays, if you will, and yeah, I know, someone has to do it, honey, so it's like my master is the substance, okay, that foundation, and we are like the use. Okay, you have to first establish, create the substance. Then it's like you have to find something called gold, and how are you going to use it? In electronics, in weapons, in Buddha statues, and so forth. And so you have to find use of the gold. Otherwise, the gold is useless. The substance is gold, but you have to find the use for the gold. So that's what we do. We take his substance, and we use it for the young people, for the old people, for people who want to go to Pure Land, and so forth, and tantras, and so forth. Okay? Because his side, they failed to do that. In my generation, they didn't go beyond that. They stuck with the substance. They said, I am Mahayana. I'm better than you. What we're doing is that I'm better than you. Let me show it to you by making you, turning you into a better person. That's the best proof right there. You are the proof, not me. It's never about me. Okay? And so I said, so if you will, it's like back then, I wasn't there, but I imagine Master Wei Shan is like the substance, and Master Yang Shan was the use. And therefore you need both. That's why Wei Yang is so advanced. And so you know what the Fang Zhang said? He said, and the Fang Zhang, of course, is enlightened. That's why I chose to talk to him like that. Okay? And so the Fang Zhang said, well, actually, I feel that the substance and the use is one and the same. And then he changed the topic, changed the subject. So I said, okay, you BSing. I forgive you. Okay, so the T is substance. So he says, Ti Ju here is for the people who are enlightened. They teach you, they take the substance, but you don't translate the substance into English. This is where the translation is not as good as the original Chinese. But it's very clumsy to translate the substance, the Ti Qu here. Okay? Because that would be clumsy. It does not, it will it will make the whole meaning more ambiguous if you add substance concept into it. That's why I chose not to translate tea. Okay? Because if you are enlightened, then the teacher here, you understand it right away. But if you're not enlightened, you just gloss over and say, oh, tea, it doesn't matter. Okay? And if scholars there ask question, what is teacher? Why didn't you translate teacher? I said, because you don't understand it anyway, so why should I translate for you? So far, so good? So I agree with the English translation. It's okay. And that's why I tell people that learn English, okay, you want to understand a little bit deeper level, go back to the original Chinese. That language is deeper than our English version. It's not possible to translate everything from Chinese into English, because the Chinese has so many layers that we don't. Our languages fall short. English falls short of that. So English is meant for you at the initial level, and then when you get higher level up there, you need to go back to Chinese. That's why in our temples, even though they are low levels, but I started stressing it to them already, and our volunteers have been teaching Chinese to our monks and nuns and lay people, whoever wishes to learn, okay? Because I'm planting the seeds for you in the future. When you get up there, you surpass me, and then you say, okay, master is, it's unimpressive. So, and then you go back to your Chinese teaching, okay? So far, so good. So right now, you, not people. Okay? You only need to directly take what you does not understand. Yeah? You, meaning you from this level to next level, next level, next level, okay? You only need to directly take that which is not understand. Next. That exactly is your mind. That thing that does not understand, that is exactly the Buddha in you. Okay? I'm running out of time. And he further elaborated. He said, if he who takes from the outside a little bit of knowledge and understanding to be the way of Chan, this is, by the way, that scholars, people who read Chan books, and heard it from me, heard it from our instructors. By the way, our instructors may not be as knowledgeable as I am. They don't BS as well as I do. However, their knowledge is sound, is solid, because they got the substance. You first need to get the substance before you worry about the use. Is it clear? Okay, that's why they're not the same. There's an order. You need to get the substance first before you can learn how to use it. Just like when you make a samurai sword, okay? You make the steel, okay, first, and then you shape the steel, and you sharpen it, and you polish it, and you embellish it, the final product, to create the best sword in the world. Okay? So you take a bit of knowledge and understand the way of Chan. You cannot read it from books. Okay? It's not here. Here does not contain the substance. Okay? He would be completely off. He's bringing excrement and not taking out excrement. What does it mean, bringing excrement? Meaning that if you read a book in Chan, and you say, Chan is so-and-so. So Chan has a description and there's plenty of books about Chan, and you then use it to regurgitate, okay, when you teach people. Okay? That's what a lot of monks and nuns do. A lot of what Master Hsuan disciples did. They didn't understand Chan, and they were forced to teach. Therefore, they had to read. And they read a lot of stuff, and they regurgitated the same thing, and which is fatal because it's not applicable to the students. What's the difference between our instructors versus such people who read it from the books? Okay, the people who read it from the books and regurgitated everything else, okay, that they learned from the books, okay, they are not there yet. And that's why they don't know what they're talking about. Whereas our instructors, American Weiyang instructors, were there, went through the training mills, and they don't understand, they don't have the whole picture, because remember, it has started with no mind is Chan and so forth. It has to be elaborated. So at various levels, our instructors are along that ladder. Okay. However, what they're helping us do for American Weiyang, better than Chinese Weiyang, is that they are being trained. So at each level, they're sharing with you what they learn, how they were trained. So they're very useful. They said, for me to get to this level where I'm at, this is how I did it. Next person says, this is how I did it. This is how I see things. This is what you need to do, and so forth and so forth. That's why all of them are consistent. Okay, they all went through the mill. Is that clear? We don't have time. Okay, we don't have time. I don't have time to teach all of you. Okay, and so that's why these people at different levels are helping you. And they help you. They come back to me and say, I have this problem, I didn't know how to answer. I say, okay, this is how you answer. That's correct. That is incorrect. Go back and apologize and say, this is what I should have explained to you. Is that clear? So we're all getting trained. So he would be completely off, because if the Chan you're teaching, you're sharing, has not been Ti Hui, that has not been experienced by yourself personally, then your Chan is BS. It's excrement. That's the bottom line. So he says, he talks about he bringing excrement and not taking out excrement. Bringing excrement is that if you read it from a Chan book, okay, you hear it, okay, on a video of someone who has not experienced it yet, has not Ti Hui, has not got the substance yet, that is, I'm sorry, excrement. That's how brutal the teaching is. If you learn with someone, the Chan, the Son, okay, the Thiền, whatever language you're at, from someone who has not Ti Hui, then what you're learning is excrement. And that's why Buddhism deteriorates. Because people take, the transcription for this class here, okay, and they say, okay, Master YongHua said so and so, and therefore that's Chan. No, I'm saying this for you trainees, and for the instructors as well, because I'm training you as well as our instructors, so that you all can Ti Hui, Ti Chu. Okay? If you don't, Chan will die. Chan is not me. Chan is in you. So that's what I saw in Master YongHua. Chinese Chan, the way he taught it, is that it dies in my generation. And there's no refuting it. It dies because no one becomes enlightened anymore. Third generation, no one. That's why I call death. Okay? Taking out excrement. This is also very important. What's taking out excrement? Meaning that when you hear this, okay, it's not excrement because I'm teaching you, I'm training you. Okay? I'm molding, I'm refining your substance, all of you. Okay? So you're not bringing excrement. Actually, you're taking out excrement. What is taking out excrement? Your prejudices. For example, many of you who are Chinese, just to be insulting today, think you know about Chan. You learn, look at our Chinese Chan, so much more accurate than your English Chan. Okay? Yeah, it's more accurate, but you don't understand your own Chinese books. You don't understand your own Chinese masters. Your own Chinese master don't understand this particular anecdote. Okay? And therefore, if you understand it, you believe that you're taking out excrement because you have this prejudice that you understand Chinese Chan, the Chan teaching in Chinese more than we do. Therefore, you need to take out that excrement. Okay? If not, you'll be stuck. Similarly, like Master YongHua disciples, or you disciples in third generation, who says, I learned from a better teacher, and therefore my knowledge is better than you. Okay, that's still excrement because what you learn from me is just me. It's not you. Okay, you need to 体会, 提取. Your substance, your Buddha nature has to grab it, not your brains. Yes. Yellow.
I have a question about a previous page. That says it's exactly your mind. Sorry, I didn't have my glasses. Your mind, yeah. Should it be? It's exactly your heart.
Mind and heart is the same in Chinese, but
I think
mind here is English.
Mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, heart. Also, the word heart also has multiple layers meanings, but
Yes.
sometimes heart has deeper meanings than mind. Mind is more
Yes.
like a functional
No, it's both.
meaning.
It's both.
Both. Okay.
Yeah. In Chinese, it means both. And that's why Chinese is so profound. If you understand, someday you understand sin here is actually both here and here. It's not separate. Here and here is the same.
Yeah, but mind, maybe 念, Chinese 念. Does it?
No, yi.
Yi.
Mind is yi, the will, volition.
Well, okay.
Xin is, xinzang is the heart. So the volition and the xinzang, it's the mind. It's not separate at all. Okay? That's why the Chinese are confused, and especially when I first started, I was confused about mind as well. Why don't you say heart? Why do you say mind? Okay? This mind here refers to the Buddha mind, which includes both your heart and your intellect. Does it help? Okay. See, that's the Buddha in you. This is the Buddha mind in you. All right? Good question. Only a Chinese will pay attention to these things. You Chinese are just too demanding. Well, I just proved to you time and time again, you don't understand your own language. Okay, so stress is that you learn Chan, you need to throw away the garbage in your mind. Okay? That's implied here. This is so important. You have so much garbage in your brains, you are still so proud of it. You say, I know so much. I know. That I know there is garbage. Your language, your knowledge of the Chinese language is still garbage. Isn't that scary? That defiles your mind field. Okay? All that excrement that you are so proud of, you hold to be true, your ultimate knowledge as you read from your books, from your scriptures, okay? Because the Buddha said so. The Buddha says, my mind is, Buddha mind, so forth. Of course it is, okay? But not the way you think. And you need to throw it out. Okay? That, because if you don't, it defiles your mind ground, your mind field, okay? Xin Thiền, Thiền is mind ground, meaning that if you don't throw out all that junk, then the weed will come up. And your good roots won't have a chance. It is so beautiful here. Okay, you see how accurate. It's like the violence of him. He hits. How he crushes this guy's knowledge and his stupidity, or the audience's stupidity, the assembly's stupidity. You think it only refers to the stupid monk? It refers to you too. Okay. You defiling, you don't do this, you don't do what you're told, you're defiling your own mind ground. Okay? That is not the way. Therefore, your way is not the way. Your way, what you think is the way, is not the way. What you think is the way is not the way. It's what I say is the way, is the way. Please. Got it. Yeah? You see, it's so Chinese. It's so elegant. Okay? It says that's why the way, your way, what is said to be the way is not the way. Okay, literally. Okay. I paraphrase it a little bit for you. What you think is the way is not. Meaning, what I say the way is the way, not what you say is the way. You cannot be more brutal than this. You're an idiot, so shut up. Do what you're told. Is that clear? This is very powerful teaching, very precise. At the end, whatever you know, whatever you believe to be the way is worthless. Is what we tell you what to do is the way. To do. Don't you ever dare look down upon my instructor and say, oh, he doesn't know, he doesn't answer as well as master. Of course not. I have 25 years ahead of him. Okay? Therefore, I'm more polished. I BS better. But, okay? But they are repeating what I trained them, what I taught them. And you need to have those fundamentals. And don't you dare reject my instructors. Is that clear? Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thanks a lot.